Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I am the guy who picked Igor Vovchanchin to defeat Mario Sperry. And I'm here to talk about Brandon Moreno versus Brandon Royval 2. This is the main event for UFC Fight Night Mexico, and it is a rematch from 3 years ago or so. Brandon Moreno won technically by TKO, but it was really a shoulder injury to Brandon Royval. He dislocated his shoulder, and they're getting to do it over here for 5 rounds. And my prediction for this fight is Brandon Moreno slows this fight down and puts Brandon Royval away by submission in the middle of the fight somewhere, maybe deeper into the fight. I do think in one way or another, if he's going to win, it's by submission or decision, he's going to have to slow Brandon Royval down. I mean, I suppose he could engage in the firefight of all firefights and come out on top, but you don't want to do that with Brandon Royval. Brandon Royval is one of the most exciting fighters in the sport. He is the most exciting fighter in the division by virtue of being the most dangerous fighter in the division. And I mean dangerous everywhere, on the feet, on the ground. And to beat him, you got to slow him down and take away that danger. And I think Brandon Moreno is an elite fighter, and he's able to duplicate the success of Alexandre Pantoja, really from either Pantoja performance against Brandon Royval. Pantoja beat him twice, and he's the only guy to legitimately, in my opinion, finish Brandon Royval with a rear naked choke in round 2. Of course, in his last fight with Royval a few months ago, he wasn't able to win and had to resort to slowing him down and out wrestling him for 5 rounds. And I think Brandon Moreno, he's really good on the feet. There's no reason to think he couldn't get the better of anybody on the feet, but he's going to be putting himself in harm's way. I think he's going to have to fight as a boring neutralizer here until the potential submissions open themselves up. But I've got Moreno winning. I thought that he was on his way to slowing down Royval in the first fight. He did take his back, threw in one hook, and had like half a twister position or 3/4 of a twister position for a few minutes. But whether he gets one hook, two hooks, or just the simple takedown, I think he's going to need to take down and hold Brandon Royval because as is the case with most fighters, in tight with Brandon Royval, they've got physicality on their side and a distinct strength advantage. And Brandon Moreno, why I'm picking him to win via submission here, is in addition to all that, he is incredibly dangerous, and has really good submissions. Moreno, I thought he impressed the hell out of me from the moment he made his UFC debut, which, if you don't know, he was on the Ultimate Fighter season, whatever the fuck. I think it was like 16 or 20 or something. And he was the 16th seed going up against the first seed in this inaugural flyweight tournament to see who was going to challenge Mighty Mouse. And the first seed was Pantoja. He choked him out in round 2, even though Moreno still gave it a good fight. But then Moreno, like 2 or 3 weeks later, into the middle of this season, he gets a short notice fight in the UFC, and he chokes out Louis Smolka with a guillotine in round 2. It impressed the hell out of me. And then even more impressive was 6 months later when he rear naked choked Dustin Ortiz, which is still his best finish, in my opinion, in his whole career, despite him having won championships with other finishes. But Ortiz is insanely durable, and the one guy to get him out of there is Brandon Moreno, even though Ortiz still didn't tap. But I think Brandon Moreno's got one hell of a squeeze on him and really good jiu-jitsu. And once he slows down Royval and takes away his danger, his own danger is going to start to be a problem. And I've got him winning. I guess I'll go round 3, rear naked choke, kind of like he did against Davis and Figueiredo in their second fight of 11 fights or whatever they had. But Royval is he's still got his upside. He's definitely the more dangerous fighter in any matchup, even in this one early on. And that means knockout or submission. I think he's better at range than Brandon Royval. He's got a much more diverse set of attacks, but I don't see Moreno engaging in the fight Brandon Royval wants. I think Brandon Moreno is going to have options here, and he's going to start to turn this into his fight before long. So that's the pick, Moreno. I haven't bet on him at minus 260 or whatever he's at, But I will wait to see the props because I do think I'd be really surprised if he won by TKO. I think a submission is most likely, and of course, decision if not. So we'll wait to see what the props look like. But Brandon Moreno is the pick. Like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit, and check out my other videos.